Well, about a week's worth of hard work, and I find myself in a hole. And I figured when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. The rake and the shovel I brought in this morning because I had all this debris and just little crumbs of bad wood and splinters and shards of stuff and mystery dirt from the past century. So I raked up and scooped most of it out and got about 4 large buckets out into the trash. So I've got much cleaner dirt now. That's a nice thing. And you'll notice that I'm standing down here because I've cut some joists. Now this joist here, you get a close-up on it. You can see why that one needs to be replaced. About 3 feet that way, the wood gets good again. About 3 feet that way, the wood gets good again. So I will be sistering in this one. More to come on that. These are actually good. These two are good. And I'm going to actually cut them right about here. I'll do a level cut. I put in that temporary pier there. You can just see it down there because of the shadow of the ladder. Just to support things while I'm doing this work. Right now it's kind of cantilevered. When I'm ready to sister each one in, I'll do one really straight cut, come over here to where it's going to hang, and sister it in. So these will be solid in the future. I'll do this one at a time. And this one, again, that old wood gets good about 3 feet that way. And that's the remnants of a bad sister there. Here, this wall is a bit weird. This was all cut up here and here for the old cast iron drains. So what I have done here, I knew that this joist was no longer supported because it's all rotted out down here where it was attached. More on this stuff in just a moment. So I went ahead and cut that after adding this pier because I knew that this is not a load-bearing wall. It's a partition wall. It's being hung from the attic more than it's being, supporting weight. And you can see here over the years how much it had sunk down. This is the old subfloor. While it's a little bit loose here, you can see here, even here, there's a pretty good gap. So the subfloor on these joists had sank over the years, but the wall level had stayed the same. So to do this, I put in a 2x4 level across the entire span and screwed with some heavy-duty construction screws to each stud to share the load. So as I took the support underneath that one, there'd be support from its neighbors. And I was able to put in this 2x4, and it's toe screwed into here, and I've got screws on either side into here, and it's going to get a new facing 2x4 like the old stuff. So this little bit doesn't matter. I can always reinforce as necessary. And eventually I will have a new 2 joists over here, and I will use a hydraulic jack. I've got a bottle jack to bring it up. Everything will be flush again. Everything will be supported from the bottom. I've got a section of old hose pipe to cut out. That's some galvanized steel. I guess you didn't see that. Section of old galvanized steel hose I've cut off here, and it goes out there. I'm going to put in a new frost-free hose bib, 8 or 12 inch, something like that, and go PEX on that. So I've got to cut out some more of that steel in the basement. And that pier will not be in use when the whole thing's done. It won't be necessary. And similarly on this wall, I've got that brace so they all are sharing each other's load as I worked underneath each one because the wood was all rotten and the subfloor that it was resting on was missing. This house was built kind of oddly. Today, we would have a sill plate running all the way down there horizontally, and on that sill plate would be resting the rim joist. And then the floor joist would be on top of the sill plate, also nailed or screwed to the rim joist, and then the subfloor would be on top of that, and then you'd have 2x4 horizontal that the studs would attach to. Well, this wasn't done that way. This was done with 2 rim joists, and the inner of the 2 was all rotted out. So it's been removed. Here's where the good wood starts, and then about a foot that way. So I've got all the rotten wood out. So I'm down to just the 1 rim joist. And it is sitting in a bed of concrete. I think that this old wood was soaked in creosote. I'm going to be getting some sealant for the next one, and I'm going to put in another rim joist here on the inside, and then maybe a third. And that third one will be something I can really set to the final level, and then I can do some joist hangers with 2x10s. Interestingly, because it did not have a 2x4 working as a bottom plate like this, it just had the 3/4 inch subfloor, which was this old material, and it was missing and it was damaged. Once I had this in place, I was able to get individual chunks of 3/4 inch. This is just poplar temporarily put in place here. And in some places, like here, I had to shim it because there's so much of a gap. And here, there's some old damage to the stud. I'll be repairing that as I go. And what I think I'm going to do, once I get this insulation out of the way, once I get the new rim joists in place, one here, maybe another one here, is I'm going to go across with a level line. Maybe not a level. Maybe I won't worry about leveling that because it needs to follow the height of this. But this is 3/4 of an inch. Cut another 3/4 of an inch off the bottom of each one of these to give me the 1.5 inch. And then I can put in a good 2x4. Speaking of good 2x4s, I had to go through like 30 2x4s at Home Depot to find any that weren't just warped and curved and cut from the center of a young tree that they're all going to cup. So I think for future 2x4 purchases, I'm going to go to a lumber yard and get some better stuff because the stuff at Home Depot and Lowe's is crappy. I'll be using pressure treated for this, of course, on top of some sealant so that the pressure treated won't be resting directly on any concrete. And they've got some new fasteners that take the place of lag bolts. I'll be using those. I can't remember what they're called. Very expensive, but very worth it to hold up your house. So I will be able to get this up. It's not Plumb. You can see that it's not Plumb. It never has been, or hasn't been in a long time. So I may have to shim it a little bit because when I do the hanger for the floor joist, I'd like that to be Plumb. I'll figure that out. I've got a laser level ordered. It'll be here Monday. So much fun reinventing this 100-year-old wheel. If I could afford to just replace all of it and do that, that'd be great. But I'd need someplace else to live for 6 months and a few $100,000 that I don't particularly have. So I'm doing the best I can while making sure that nothing falls on me and nothing collapses. This is all going to be so much better built when I'm done. And all the damaged rotted wood is out. Over here, let me turn the light to it. I had shown before how this was all rotted out. So this is a miraculous piece of 2x4 I was able to get from Home Depot that wasn't terrible. And again, I had another 2x4 spanning across. You can see the line there in the insulation where it was. So that as I took the bottom stuff out, every bit was being held up from the top. And I worked in 2 studs at a time. And at that point, I realized that this was not coming down. This wall was not moving because the studs here, the floor joists have sank so much over the years. You can see that gap between the subfloor and that 2x4 there that all the studs are on. So again, like on the other wall, I'm going to take this joist out It's got another joist behind it and a small piece between it. So it's like a built-in double sister thing here. So when I do that, the new one, before I attach it to the old one, I'll bring the bottle jack and bring all this up so it's nice and tight. And I'll get that out down there when I'm in it. And I'll be repairing or replacing some of these cross pieces with horizontal support. And about 4 feet from this wall when I'm done, in addition to the joist going this way, we're going to have a horizontal beam across, very rigid. And right about here for the bathtub plumbing, I'm going to do a plumber's box. Given that it's only like 8 feet by 6 feet, and if I do it smart with a little bit overkill, this will be the strongest area of flooring in the entire house. Probably the strongest room in the entire house when I'm done. So once I get that laser level and know exactly what I need to do here and there and how much of a shim I might need to put down here, so the new facing board will be more plumb, so I can hang the new joists from it. I can put in floor joists, and I'm going to be doing some heavy duty joist hangers over on this end with the proper screws and nails, and then sistering into the old stuff where the old stuff is still good, cutting back the old stuff. And I think it should be rock solid, so I hope to be able to show you that in the next update video. And then it'll be a matter of just, here's the old HVAC, which I've just disconnected and stomped on so we're not leaking hot air in here. I'll replace that entire section going back to the plenum and run it over here to be ready to be brought up, have it all installed on down here. And this electrical wire, which is the power to my office with all the amps, I'm going to put some boxes in place and do it properly and run it probably under there. Anyway, we're not going to have this in the middle here. Anyway, so soon I'll be able to be putting a new subfloor in. Thinking probably going to be Advantech. It's just a matter of matching the height of the old subfloor, where the height is worth looking at, and then getting it flat certainly, and hopefully some kind of level in the process. And this is so much easier when you see people do it on TV or in videos where they have like 8 guys doing it in one day, or they just do a time lapse, or they come back 6 weeks later, after the commercial break. But I have to do it in real slow time by myself. Oh, and I've got to go spend about $60 on hole saws for the plumbing stuff. But at 2 inches and 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inch rather, 2 inch and 1.5 inch, I won't have to weaken the structure to do that. Hopefully. Anyway, several of you have expressed continued interest. So to you, I thank you. Thank you for watching. For those of you who always comment, I came here for amps, not this other stuff. Well, great. Go get your own channel. Make it all about your amps. Sometimes life intrudes. And since I pretty much spend all my time solving problems for other people, I thought it might be interesting to show me trying to solve some problems for myself. This damage here is pretty minor. I'm going to seal all this up with some sealant and cross my fingers that it'll hold. But it seems to be really overall about 95% structurally very, very good. And there's a limit to what I can do from this side. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Bye.